Hello, welcome. My name is Pete Calabrese. I'm CEO of Can-Am Investor Services. Can-Am is one of the largest and certainly most successful regional centers in the history of the EB-5 program. Can-Am Investor Services is our wholly owned broker-dealer affiliate. We have the great pleasure today of being joined by Mr. Paul Fegan and Mr. Jason Auerbach from Navis Wealth. Paul, Jason, welcome.
Thank you.
Glad to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the planning that goes into an EB-5 investment, really from a wealth advisory standpoint. So we talk all the time about how large, personal, and really intricate of an investment EB-5 is. And oftentimes we'll talk about from the EB-5 and the immigration perspective of it. What I think is really important that we talk about, but doesn't necessarily get as highlighted, is a lot of the steps that need to be taken before you actually make this investment, and especially before you potentially come to the United States. So we have the great pleasure of being joined by these gentlemen today who are going to help to talk about some of that planning and some of the steps that you can take to be better prepared for your ultimate transition through an EB-5 investment to the United States. So maybe Paul, Jason, if you guys could talk us through a little bit about Navis, about your history, what you guys do, and we could talk a little bit more about some of the subjects that we wanted to cover today.
Sure, happy to. So Navis Wealth Management was founded in 2018. We are a multifamily office, so we help clients with financial planning, investments, taxes, estate planning, insurance, basically anything that has to do with your financial world. Personally, I have over 20 years experience in cross-border planning. So I have a lot of experience working with the U.S. Tax system and how it integrates with foreign countries, whether there's a tax treaty or not in place. And that, because it really makes a real big difference at the end of the day that you maximize what opportunities you have in the tax code in both the U.S. and your home country. Because there may be opportunities where you can really save a lot of money on taxes, or just have much better experience going through the process.
And given Paul's background, EB-5 really fits naturally into what our firm is already doing. So Paul did this, like he said, for over 20 years with the cross-border planning. So this was a natural fit, and we really appreciate the opportunity to partner with Can-Am in this opportunity.
Oh, fantastic. So I think to me, there are steps that can be taken when you come to the United States, and we can touch on those maybe in a little bit. But I think what's more important is really a lot of the planning that gets done before someone comes here, before someone sets so really before someone even necessarily moves forward and makes their EB-5 investment. So if you guys were to say, what would be two main issues that a prospective EB-5 investor should look at or be aware of before they start to apply for an EB-5 investment?
So the first thing that someone's going to need to understand is when you become a resident alien in the United States, so getting your EB-5 visa or your temporary green card, your entire worldwide income is subject to U.S. taxation. That's the number one thing that people need to be aware of. Even if it's just a little bit of income, let's say a small pension income from your home country, it absolutely needs to be reported in the United States. So people need to understand that what your reporting requirements are at your home country are going to be different in the United States. The second thing that you really need to focus on are what kind of assets do you have overseas? So if you have a pooled asset, something like a mutual fund or an ETF exchange traded fund, those are what we call pooled assets. Now, that would be viewed in the United States as what's called a passive foreign investment corporation. So a good term to remember is PFIC. So if you have overseas investments, you need to understand what the consequences would be of holding those investments and what it would mean for U.S. taxation.